Hello. All right, today is I think today's Sunday, the 5th of February. All right, I'm just doing a very quick recap on my trade for Sunday. Um, and today, what I'm going to actually do is, obviously, I took a trade at the open, slightly above bar one, and got out on bar 17. Um, and so, I'm going to talk about why I went long here, how I managed the trade, why I got out here, um, because I think that actually is useful. I may even talk about what's happening here as well, um, and why I could have taken a trade here, but actually no, I couldn't have because of the time. But anyway, as you probably mostly know, I can't trade past a certain time of the day. But on Friday, I had some other deadlines with other projects, so I literally had to stop this and just go into that other project. Otherwise, I probably would have taken this long. I don't know if I would have, and I probably would have gotten out maybe here. I'd have held it and probably gotten out over here. That theoretically, but you never know. Maybe even gotten out here. And you might ask, why would I go long here and get out here? Because I think at this point things have changed. But and maybe I wasn't expecting this drop, but after seeing this drop, I should have expected this drop. But at the time, my mindset was slightly different. I thought we're coming back all the way back up here. But then when I look back on the chart, I'm like, there was no reason for us to come back up here. We've already tested this price twice, um, so there's no need for us to do that. Okay, so coming into the day, uh, this was, obviously this is the day, and the channel obviously was drawn after the day. So this is kind of cheating, because obviously I wouldn't have had this in. So let's remove some of this stuff. All right. So coming into the day, in fact, let's do it this way. This is easier. By the way, this is the 20,000 tick chart. I use this to kind of get a better view. Why didn't it take that off? Interesting. I use it to get a better view of what the price is doing on a larger perspective. Why 20,000 ticks? Because it just filters things out. I don't need to see all the tiny pullbacks that are happening over here. I just want to see the overall pattern. And I want to see where we're getting exhausted. I want to see where we're starting to agree on price. And then I want to see where the bulls, in our case, are beginning to lose steam and lose interest in buying. So that essentially was kind of what was guiding my idea for trading, or how I traded Friday. All right, so this is Thursday, right? Um, as you can see, we've been sort of chugging along um, all the way up, and we're actually trying to test. Did I put it here? We tested this high, and there's another high in the past. I don't think I have it on this chart. No, I don't have enough points. But this is a trading range. So this is the leg down in the trading range. This is the leg up, and this is the double top. Now, what you also notice as well is we have one attempt here, one push, one leg, and we pull back for a correction. Normally, there's a two-legged correction. Um, Here it looks like just one leg, but it's actually supposed to be two legs. But anyway, so we push up one, a correction, and then we push up again. And in this push up, we have three push, and this leg we have three pushes. So one, two, three. If we use this instead, you can actually see it. So we have a push down, sideways, one leg up, pull back, and a second leg up. And the second leg has three pushes: one pull back, two pull back, and three. And what's so cool about this third leg is we broke above the channel, and usually that is a sign of exhaustion. And the market then now has to either come back and test the bottom of the channel, or it goes sideways. So at this point, on here you can see we have a spike, pullback, and channel. One, two, three. You can almost argue four, but this has not touched the moving average, so so I'll still see. You could call it four if you want. Um, and another spike pullback in channel. It's like fractal, it's like spike pullback channel, spike pullback. It's the same thing on all time frames. So we get here, we have a big dump testing this low, and of course we get a second leg of this up testing this high. So technically it's a double top. It's actually a lower high double top because it doesn't take this out. And so now we need to test this low, which is what was happening in the overnight session. We broke this low, so now we're officially in a trading range, no longer in a bull trend because we've taken out the higher low. This is a major higher low as far as this is concerned. We're still in a bull trend as far as this whole thing is concerned. Alright, so we take this out, and now the bears need to test this side of the channel. Right? They test the top, they test the bottom. They tested the top, they broke out, and now they need to test the bottom. So we now come down, and this is the overnight session. Now in the overnight session, we have this double top, and we have one leg down. We have a pullback. So what I'm now thinking is, if we have a pullback, we're going to get a second leg down, right? So chances are we're going to get a correction, maybe a two-legged correction, but we're going to get a correction off this move, right? And so therefore, if that is the case, therefore this is probably the buy zone, i.e. just like we have the buy zone here, we have another buy zone here. We also have a wedge forming, so 1, 2, and 3, right down here, and you could almost say there's a wedge here, 1, 2, 3. So this, you could join these three. So I'm now looking for a buy setup at the open as a result, because at this point the bears are getting exhausted, and no one wants to be selling here. Everyone wants to be selling higher up, not down, and the bulls want to be buying here. So essentially the way I like to trade is I like to look for the areas where you can call it supply here, demand there. It's like the last swing low, but you can see it just by the price action. So based on that, I'm looking for a bull bar at the open, right? So I'm not using this chart. This is the open, right? I could and buy above this bar, but I want like more detail. So this is the open here, and the first thing I notice is we have first push down, a pullback sideways trading range, and a second push down, and then we pull back to the M8, and then we're getting a third push. And in this, what's really interesting is we're not getting like straight collapse. We're getting a lot of two-sided trading, and that tells me that if you think about it, if you're getting a lot of choppy two-sided trading, it's not convincing to any bear to want to sell here anymore, because the bulls are getting good deals. And the bulls, you don't want to be trading when the bulls are getting good deals. You want to be trading when the bears are in control, like here. When the bulls are getting good deals like that, and what I mean by that is they're making money. They're buying every low, every new low, they're buying and they're making money. So that's disappointing. Every time, let's say you sold here, and then you get here and then you see the bulls doing this, you're going to be upset because you're like, I don't want this, I want this, right? As a result, it discourages a lot of bears from selling. Anyway, so we come down here, and I see this bull bar here, right? And at this point, I want to start buying, because I'm thinking we're having a strong bull close over here, and we're testing this moving average on the 6K tick, and we break that moving average, right? So now we have two bull bars, we've broken this high, we're testing the moving average, we're probably going to break it again, right? So we now close this bar here. This is when I now decide to buy. Right, so I'm going to show you, this price was 4148.25. So 4148.25 is round about 4148.25. It's round about here where that bar closed. So we have three bull bars closing in a row, right? And that's the first thing you're getting, three bull bars like that in a while. So on this chart, I'm seeing this bull bar here, and it's about to close, and as it closes, I buy, right? And then it starts to go higher, and I say to myself, I remember saying to myself, if we get above this, this is also a buy. So I buy above this bar, right? So I buy this close and I buy above this bar, so my average is about here. So at this point, I'm like, okay, this is a buy the close setup. If anything, we have two targets, yesterday's close and the moving average. As you can see, we get to yesterday's close and we pull back. Which makes sense because all the bears who sold here. Um, so all the bulls who bought this low are getting out here. Essentially, they bought again and they're getting out for a profit. And all the bears who whoever is trapped is getting out, and whoever is making money as a bull is making, he's probably getting out there, right? So it's a really good setup, good target. At this point, I'm asking myself, I could get out here, but this is so strongly up. We're going to get a second leg. So I hold onto my position. I go through this chop, especially through bar 7. Bar 7, the one with the purple dot. It's a news bar. It triggers a short below this very strong close, right? So you have the bulls struggling to get above this level. Price is struggling to get above here. We're getting a lower high. We're forming a bit of a triangle, right? And we get another lower high, and now we definitely have a triangle. And then we get down. So it's I, right? So it's a breakout mode pattern. So it's a small trading range. At the time, myself and my colleagues in Discord were talking, is this a bull trap? I was like, it doesn't look likely. I don't think we have a bull trap here. If it's a bull trap, then this should be very strongly down. Or at least we should get a good follow through. But a 7 closed with a tail. And I was like, okay, this is not how a trap looks like. Normally when you have a trap, this would probably be a really good signal to go short on. But it wasn't. And therefore it just didn't look great. Then bar 4, which was once a very strong bear bar, was almost making all of us get a bit nervous. But I kept on saying, this is the first leg up, and it looks like a strong impulse. Right? If it's not a trap, and I'm sure it's not a trap, it will definitely get a second leg up, right? And of course, it tests the open and probably a breakout point, right? Just about there. Once that is complete, we get a micro double bottom, a really interesting, and I say interesting, I don't even think it's a strong close because this doji closes way above the midpoint of the bar. So the bulls have won this bar, right? And it closes above where it opened. So there's a lot of interest from buyers at this point. So this is a buy above bar 8. And of course, that is exactly what happened. Now, what's going on over here? We have a 50% pullback. So essentially, halfway down, there are buyers buying halfway here and buying maybe the 66% pullback. I'm not using fib numbers. I'm just saying 50% or 50%. And they're buying those lows as well. So essentially what we're seeing is a lot of interest from the buyers who are essentially saying, we see this as value and we're getting a discount. And as a result, we get a big bar. Closes above the moving average. And at this point, I'm like, great. This target is now irrelevant to me. However, I don't want a situation where we wedge here, i.e. this high, and this can't get any higher. We get a massive bear bar, in which case this is now probably going to be the high of the day, and I don't like that. I didn't want that, because then it means that this is still going down further, and I shouldn't be a bull. We get this bull bar, and this bull bar, obviously looking strong at this point, very convincing, now forms a tail. So for me, I'm seeing this as a two-legged correction, micro two-legged correction in this particular move. So we get this, right, which is another, and that convinces me that we're going to get a bigger bar after this. Because if you think about it, this is the first leg, this is a minor two-legged correction, a second leg, right, on this. So if you go to, like, say, a 1 minute chart, you'll probably get 2 legs to the moving average there. Then I see this bar, and I think my colleagues were already, this bar was pretty big, closed on its low, and I was like, this is a minor reversal. I reckon this bar is going to engulf it, or if anything, get to the highs. At the time, it took a while for us to get all the way to the highs, but the way I saw it was, if this is the first pullback, this is the second pullback, we need one more high. But this is a minor reversal. I don't see this as the major reversal, not like this. It wouldn't normally lead to that. There's not enough bars for us, not enough bear bars to encourage bears to sell. It's still too strongly bullish. It's too tightly bullish. The channel's too tight. You need sideways before you go down. And then we get this bar, which I was very encouraging. I was like, yeah, I'm still in this trade. And at this point now, I'm looking for 40 points. And 40-point mark for me was here. So from my average here to here, I'm like, I want to make 40 points on this. And at this point, I'm like, I need to go. And I take my profits as this starts to become a bear bar, because I'm thinking, We had this so much selling over here, a lot of selling pressure here. We're probably going to get a deep pullback at this point. I don't know if I'm ready to sit through a deep pullback because we could sit through it for hours. And I was like, you know what? I'll just take whatever I get here, which was 35 or 36 points or something. And then of course it goes and hits my target, which is fair enough. I mean, if you're a price action trader, it shouldn't be about the amount of money you're making. Really, this is your exit. So I actually exited above where I should have exited. But then when I looked at it, I thought, hang on a second, this is also a minor reversal because it's the first time the bears are getting that leg, and a it's also a proper wedge top from here, here, and here. So you have one push, a pullback, a second push, a pullback, and a third push. Whilst this is a pullback here, you could say it's an L4, but really the actual move is this is the move, this is a pullback, this is the move, this is the pullback, and this is a final move. And what even makes this interesting is you get a final flag. So lots of sideways action, a small triangle here, a breakout above, three pushes, 1, 2, 3. You know this is a top. You probably exit here if you wanted, or if you want, you can exit below here. But I mean, it doesn't make sense for you to come all this way, hold through this, and then exit below this bar. I would probably just exit as this bar closes, or as this bar is forming. I'll probably exit because you now know that you have a higher high double top. You're probably going to get a lower high double top major trend reversal. We get this. So at this point, I'm out of the trade, but I'm still watching the price action, talking to colleagues in the chat. I walk away because I had some other things to do. We get this pullback, and I come back when this is down here. This was forming actually. I said to a friend of mine, we should go back up and try and test this high. Now, I also mentioned that this leg is probably the bears are gonna try again one more time to get a second leg of this. What I did not see, I thought we would go higher, and I was thinking we would. I'm gonna look for an example of what I was hoping, not hoping, but what I thought would happen. And having looked at it, I realize now that I wasn't reading the price action properly. I thought we may get something like this. So essentially, I mean, not always the same price action, but this pullback and then head up with a nice buy climax. But it was slightly different. This price action is different from what's going on here because of the context. We have such a strong down, and this is a transition period that we're in, that we really should be expecting the bears to come in because we have a lower high. So therefore, we should expect the bears come in. And if anything, we should expect it to take out the low of day and the Globex low, which is here. And it didn't take out the Globex low. So I think we may take out the Globex low tomorrow or even tonight. But that's the thing that's interesting about it. What also is interesting is the fact that, as you can see, bulls are not buying. They're holding it. There's lots of scalping going on over here. They had an opportunity to buy here, even here. They should have gone higher, but they didn't. Maybe too tight a breakout. This could have reversed. Did not. We went lower. Failed breakout below the double bottom or below the moving average. Failed breakout below low of day and the opening price. We went higher, pulled back, tested the opening price, but it's such a deep pullback. We should get a second leg, and we get that, and then we don't have enough time to finish the day. But if you look at and then obviously it's a triangle, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it's a breakout mode setup. I reckon we're probably going down, but again, anything can happen in the market. Yeah, so that was essentially my day. I wish I had taken this. Like I said, I probably would have bought this, but I would have probably gotten out here because at the time when I was looking at it, this did not look like a reason to get out. I thought the bears would be disappointed. I expected this leg. I even thought it might come down out here, maybe. And so I was ready to hold. But when I saw this, I said, maybe this is a bear trap. But there's no reason for this to be a bear trap when I look at it now. The bears have had already shown that they're ready to sell again. This is very tight. So we got a second leg, excuse me, which would have a bit more, and it's a 50% pullback. technically a head and shoulders top. All right, that literally is my recap, and I'm looking forward to. Like I said, that is why I drew that. Oh, wrong. Here we go. That's why I drew this channel. Just because I realized that, okay, fine, we have a leg up, a pullback, and this looks like a bull flag. Um, but I think if this is going to be that, I think obviously our fall through isn't great, so it looks like we may go higher, and probably a bit higher to go test some more resistance. But on the daily chart, this is so extended, and like this move is extended, so we need to come back, rest, test the other side. So possibly this moves back, test the moving average. So you have one push down, a pullback, a second push working, probably come down here, another pullback, and then a final push could come all the way down here, and then we either go up or we completely collapse and we come back down and try and test this low, and we're back in the 3000s again. All right, we'll see what happens this week.